I used to get pain not only in my shoulder, I had pain in the groin also. But then my main thing was like, I have to get back to powerlifting. And they didn't have the facility like the squat racks, the proper bench setup, etc. So that is when I decided, I have to shift to somewhere else where I could just move forward. That's when I came here. My doctor, the rheumatologist also said, like, the fact that you were into powerlifting actually saved you.
What was that emotional and mental status?
The arthritis thing hit me. It hit me bad. It like sent me down into some deep hole. It was so bad that I had suicidal thoughts too.
Hello everyone. So the main reason that we are here today is I wanted to share the journey of Wilma, because we have seen her in pain and now she is back to powerlifting. Like her, all the medals and all the glories, her Commonwealth and everything we wanted to discuss because it's very, very inspiring. So welcome Wilma here, and so good to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
So tell us like how your journey started into powerlifting and the entire process. How was it?
Powerlifting started around 2017. It started at this very same place, the same gym. When one of my trainers told me, "Arey, aap bahut acha lift karte ho, why don't you compete?"
Correct.
And I was like, I'm old. And he was like, "No."
What was your age that time?
I was 48.
Oh.
47, 48.
48, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I thought he was joking. And he said, no, there are competitions. And I actually went to compete in the sport where I didn't know the name. I thought it was weightlifting. And my first competition itself, I won medals. And it just got hooked onto it. Then I started training off with Vinutha ma'am and took it off from there.
But that time were you diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis?
At that time I was not diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I had those aches and pains and I always thought I was lifting heavy and I mistook those pains which I was getting from my joints for muscle soreness. I always thought it was muscle soreness because after a squat session, I used to feel pain. And I always thought it was like, as I said, soreness because I'm squatting heavy.
But you did not seek any medical help that time, orthopedic, physio or anything?
No, actually, I am very scared of doctors, to be very honest.
Why?
Because every time I got to a doctor, something major has come out of it.
Okay.
So I generally avoid going to doctors. So I just didn't want to go to a doctor. I didn't want to show.
Oh, so then when did you decide that you need to visit the doctor now? What was it? Because your powerlifting was going well. You were winning the medals.
Yeah, powerlifting was going well. It was actually in 22. I started feeling the pain was like too much. I had severe problems with my shoulder. And my lifts actually started suffering because of that. And it was during the Commonwealth, actually after the Commonwealth, on the way back, I was like, nah, it looks like something very bad, something is really wrong and I have to get it treated. That's when I thought I took a break thinking I would give myself rest, but then nothing seemed to happen. And that's when I decided, no, I have to get myself treated. So I did my blood test.
But that time you were coming back from Commonwealth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to get pain not only in my shoulder, I had pain in the groin also. It was like, when I was climbing up some elevation or climbing up the stairs, I could feel suddenly something like pinching and the whole area around the hip, the inside portion, it would get into a spasm. It would just hold. And I had to just even sometimes it would happen when I was walking. So I had to just wait till that spasm released and then I could walk.
Okay.
It was like as if nothing happened. But then the frequency of it just kept getting more and more.
So that happened during your Commonwealth also?
It happened during the Commonwealth also.
Those lifts also?
Not during the lifts. Thankfully, I think it's God's blessing. it has never happened during my lifts.
Wow.
It has never happened during my lifts. It's happened while I was walking,
Ah.
or I mean, like when I'm climbing stairs or something. But during my lifts, touch wood, it hasn't happened. It's
And
like,
then once you came back, then you seek the help.
yeah,
medical
I
help.
went to another physio, and I had done my blood test, and I saw the RF factor thing in that. And I didn't take that seriously, to be precise. So the first thing when they did was they asked me to do the external rotation of my left shoulder, and it was like, karr, karr. There was that a loud noise which was audible to everyone sitting in the room.
Oh.
So then the physio asked me whether, do you have rheumatoid arthritis? I said, I think I have, because I just did the test and it showed me something in the RF factor. When she suggested I have to meet the rheumatologist.
Okay.
So then I met the rheumatologist, and then the treatment started. But then my main thing was like, I have to get back to powerlifting. And they didn't have the facility like the squat racks, the proper bench setup, etc., for me to go ahead. So that is when I decided, I mean, I have to shift to somewhere else where I could just move forward. That's when I came here.
As you said that you have already taken treatment, like, the physios and the orthos, rheumatologists. But then what you think, what got unnoticed, and, because when we met, when we started, it was right from the scratch, because
Yeah.
the muscle was not firing, the ranges were not there,
Yeah.
nothing was working,
I do. The approach here was totally different. It was like, it was a hands-on approach as such, where you were there. You worked on like the mobilization of the shoulder. It was like the shoulder was jammed. There were certain times where I couldn't even lift that shoulder. It wouldn't move. It wouldn't just turn this side or that side.
We just did the joint distraction.
Yeah,
part.
something. And then a range of motion has been better since. And the same way for the hip. Treatment here has not only been like needling or cupping. It was generally not about needling and cupping. It was working on mobilization. Not only mobilization, we worked on stability and strengthening of the muscle and the joint. The joint is as it is compromised, but then we worked on, you'll have worked on strengthening those joints and putting that back into powerlifting. In fact, I couldn't even squat to parallel because every time I tried squatting to parallel, it started pinching. The pinching pain would transfer down to my knees too. So then we worked on various things like lunges and various other movements which helped
Your
improving my powerlifting movements. And I think now I've never failed a squat on depth. If I failed a squat or failed a lift, it may be because of other technical factors, like I failed the lift with me not completing the lift, but I have never failed the lift based on depth or the quality of the.
But I remember that when we first met, the shoulder pain and the groin pain was like, oh God.
It was there. I know
just tell us about that. How was it?
Yeah, when I first came in here, it was then that the groin pain again. It was like it was silent, and it just came back with terrible intensity. And for me, climbing upstairs, even like when I'm sleeping sometimes and I'm turning from one side to another, it would pain, it would hurt. And the pinching would take place like quite frequently. And that pinching pain is something which I just can't bear. The shoulder was okay. The pain, it's bearable pain, but the pinching pain that I get in the hip is unbearable.
During this all journey, like what was that emotional and mental status? Because like, competing at such a high level, and then not able to walk the stairs or not even to climb the stairs, you become so dependent on multiple ways. So what was that you feel like?
Yeah, actually, when I got it, when the arthritis thing hit me, it hit me bad. It like sent me down into some deep hole, which was like, it was something which I never expected. The thing like why me always kept in coming in. And it was so bad that I had suicidal thoughts too.
Oh.
Because it's not that my whole life depended on powerlifting. It's just that it was my happy space.
Correct.
And being deprived of that happy space, deprived in the sense like the thing like the movements would give me pain, and the pain was like I don't ask. So can we take a break?
Yeah,
It
it's
is
okay.
making me feel.
Yeah. No worries. It's okay.
I don't like to talk about that.
It's fine. But that's inspiring.
I really don't like to talk about that. So I used to go and stand in my balcony thinking of jumping.
It's okay. But from there, you have come so much far.
Yeah.
That's something motivating.
Now I can stand in my balcony and look at the beautiful things around.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
Give me a minute. Yeah. Coming up from Commonwealth and then coming to know that I have rheumatoid arthritis and not having proper knowledge of what exactly it is. It took me a lot of time, a lot of research on Google, reading a lot about it, and then coming to know what exactly RA is. And also coming to know the fact that my mom has it and I've very nicely inherited it from her. It was like something which made me feel that I had to take not 2 steps, but maybe 10 steps back. And questions like, am I going to lift again? That was one thing which.
But did anybody tell you that you have to leave powerlifting?
No, nobody told me I have to leave powerlifting. My doctor, the rheumatologist, also said, like, the fact that you were into powerlifting actually saved you.
Yeah.
Saying your muscle quality was so good that it masked whatever was happening. So
this is exactly what I want the women to understand.
So the main thing is like you don't have to lift heavy or weight training helps. It helps the bones, the joints.
Correct.
Actually very well. And I'm actually so thankful that I continued powerlifting with the half knowledge I had about muscle soreness and pain, which I mistook, or I was too afraid or shy to tell my coach that hey, I'm having this pain. So it's just that I didn't want to tell anyone.
Correct. But that is something which is the mental aspect, which I see. Many of the athletes, they have the issues, they have the pains, but there are some limitations that they cannot openly accept it.
For me, the thing was like, I wanted to compete. I had to compete. It's not that I had to compete. I wanted to compete. I didn't want to give up the sport. And I was like scared, like, what if my coach will tell me like, okay, you're in pain, don't, we will skip this competition, I think. And I know she would have never told me that because she always tells me like, movement is the key.
Correct.
Whatever be it, you need to move. Like, even if you're in pain, fine, we might skip a particular, maybe a squat session, but there are always other things which we can do.
But many coaches do say that. So what is your take on it and what you will tell the athletes who are listening to it? Like many coaches do tell that if you have pain, then your career is done.
No, if you have pain, your career is definitely not done. You need to find the right coaches, the right physios, the right doctors who will treat you and take you ahead.
Yes. So that's what we believe, that none of the injury can hold you back.
Yeah.
And if somebody is telling you that leave the sport, that means you have to...
Something is wrong. You have to change a coach.
You have to change the expert.
Yeah, yeah. And another important thing is to work on the mental aspect of it.
Correct.
Because once you diagnose with something like this, you going down into a dark hole or a pit hole or wherever it is I think but natural. But then coming out of it, acceptance of the disease and working on it is something that
So tell
will
us
help.
how our mental sessions were and how it changed. What was it? Because
Yeah, I've had few mental
this-
sessions with you, and I, as a person, I think I'm an introvert. It takes me time to open up to people. Talking to people gives me jitters. I have those starting problems. And I think talking to you and learning about those breathing techniques and a lot of others, those various writing down things, the positive assertment things, visualization, etc., has helped me a lot. So initially, when I started off powerlifting, before every competition, it used to be like I used to have night wears. It was suppose my competition is on a Sunday morning. From Saturday afternoon, I go into that shut off mode. I would not want anybody at home to talk to me. I would not want, I needed my space. And I used to be so terrified of God knows what it is that I would be pacing up and down. And if you look at that now, this time I competed in the nationals in August, and it was a total different experience for me this time. I was more calmer and I focused on breathing and just didn't let any of those negative thoughts to come into my head. So working on mental strength too is very important.
what about the self love which we talked about? Because that is something which I feel in my patients, like most of the women or the female athletes, they do lack that.
Yeah.
So what is your take in it? Because we live in this society where, you know, it's always, at least for women, it's like, you know, you are later, others come first, and then you have
Yeah,
to
I
take.
know it has
That's
been like
all what
that.
the
It has been
upbringing we
like that
have.
for
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
But then there are times when you actually, it's not there are times, you actually need to prioritize yourself first. Your others are there, they are also your priority. But if you don't prioritize yourself first and then work on yourself, I don't think you will be sending positive energy to the other person. So self-love is something that is important.
Yeah. And how you did that?
Initially, looking at myself in the mirror was difficult.
Uh,
Because when I, before RA, I was quite lean and muscular, and I think very fit. And after RA, the meds and various other factors has led to horrible weight gain. So me looking at myself in the mirror was difficult.
correct.
It was difficult. There are times even now that I can't accept the fact that I have put on weight. I always look forward to competing in the lower weight categories. But then telling myself, yeah, it's okay. You're going through a lot. You'll get out of it. And like giving myself a good hug helps me.
Correct. And what is will be your advice for the women and for the other people who are suffering from RA, who wants to get back to their, you know, dreams, or to the younger athletes who are suffering from various injuries, you know, and they take it as this is the career-ending injury, I cannot go back, and they lose hope. So, what is your take
No,
on
there
that?
is nothing like, I know getting injured plays a lot mentally, not only physically, it is also the mental aspect of the thing that comes into play. But then that is not the end of it. As I said, finding the right coach, finding a right doctor, finding a right physio matters.
Awesome. So how you will increase the strength of them? Like, do you think that any particular practical tips which you can give them?
Stay positive.
Yeah. How to stay positive? Everybody says stay positive. What did you do to stay positive?
I kept telling myself, okay, this is not the end of it. I need to, okay, you have RA, fine. It's something, it's testing times. You have to work, you have to, the main thing is acceptance. Acceptance took a lot of time for me. And I think healing started the day I accepted the fact that, okay, there is something wrong. It's going to be a part and parcel of you now. You have to take your medication. You have to work on muscle strength, work on mobility, work on like being positive, and just move ahead.
Yes, so that was really very inspiring, and thank you so much for sparing the time and motivating everybody. So I think many young athletes and also the athletes who are suffering from serious injuries will gain a lot from this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.